So the play doesn't even start out with Macbeth, first of all. It starts with these three witches on a really rainy day that have nothing to do. Since they're bored, they're like, hey, I have an idea. Let's screw around with Macbeth. So these witches, they're like, alright, let's look into the future. So they look into their future and they decide to tell Banquo and Macbeth what's gonna go down, which obviously isn't good. So when Banquo and Macbeth find out that Macbeth isn't king, they're more than not happy. And Macbeth's like, dang, what could I do to make this better? So Macbeth obviously wasn't happy that he got king, but you know who was even angrier? Lady Macbeth. She's a scary woman. So when she finally got a letter that Macbeth wouldn't be king, she was like, dude, what the heck? And then she said to her husband, dude, what the heck? And she was like, dude, you should kill Duncan, the king. And he's like, fine, I guess I'll do it. Gotta go. So the Macbeths have Duncan and everyone over for dinner, and they look like they're having a good time. They're all friends, having a good time, hanging out. But then, because Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are absolute snakes, they decide to kill Duncan in the middle of the night. Macbeth doesn't like it, Duncan obviously doesn't like it, and it ends up with the king being dead, so that Macbeth can be king. So now that Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are royalty, they decide to roll up to the castle, and they become king and queen. They're rolling over Scotland, and a lot of people don't like it, but they don't care. Wait, they do. To make sure that Macbeth stays king, he decides to kill his best friend Banquo, and luckily his son gets away. Banquo, not so lucky. At the same time that Banquo got sad, Macbeth was having a party. So, the only thing that could happen in a Shakespeare play? Banquo's ghost. Macbeth got really freaked out as soon as he saw the ghost because Banquo was haunting him due to guilt. And he's like, oh my god, that's crazy. So then he starts to go into some type of seizure thing, and all the guests have to leave. And Lady Macbeth is not very happy about it. She's like, dude, get your act together. She's a pretty tough lady. So because Macbeth is so conscious about being king, he wants to ask the witches about who will be his downfall, because a lot of people don't want Macbeth to be king. So he decides to bust into the witches and be like, hey y'all, what's happening? What do I need to do? They tell him all these prophecies looking into the future about how he'll be okay unless there's going to be like trees that attack him or something, and that'll be his downfall, and that's what really scares him. So he decides that he's going to kill Macduff. Even though there wasn't any real reason for it, he decided to send these murderers to go kill Macduff's family. So they're all just hanging out one night, and then these murderers appear, and they're like, hey y'all, we're gonna stab you. So Macduff runs to England to go get Malcolm, who was supposed to be king, in order to tell him that they need to fight for what they believe in. Macduff tells Malcolm why he needs to become king because Macbeth's doing such a bad job for Scotland. He doesn't believe him. Malcolm says he's going to be a bad king, which makes Macduff fear for Scotland's life. When they both realize they both have Scotland's best interest at heart, they're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we should go kill Macbeth. So they get an army assembled and they get ready to go fight him. So while everyone is planning against Macbeth, Lady Macbeth is getting so shook that she killed all these people, so she decides to kill herself. And Macbeth, even though he seemed really in love with her, he's just kind of like, oh, that sucks, but you know, whatever. All these people rally up a huge army against Macbeth, and it's like 10,000 to like maybe like 4 people, and everyone believes it's gonna be okay, but then they all storm Dunsinane, which is Macbeth's castle. It ain't looking pretty for Macbeth, I will tell you that much. So Macbeth back at his castle is like, nah, you know what, I'm gonna stand up for what I believe in, which is me being king. So he goes out, he's in his castle, but then, surprise, surprise, Macduff comes out of nowhere to avenge his family. So they fight for a little bit, they're living their best lives, and then Macduff finally kills him in order for Malcolm to take back the crown to become the king, which obviously was going to happen from the beginning, guys, come on. So I guess in the end everything worked out because Malcolm finally became king, and they decided to put Macbeth's head on a stick, which is always a great end to a play. But in the end, I guess Scotland was safe, and everyone loved it, so good job, Shakespeare, I guess. And good job, Mrs. Kratz, for making us read.
It's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake.